Good day everyone! For this video, I will be discussing on how do we clean a spill outside a biosafety cabinet and the proper waste segregation specifically in clinical laboratory setting.
Disclaimer: the information, images, and templates presented in the video belong to their rightful owners with no copyright infringement intended. For educational purposes only.
First, we will discuss the spill drill outside the biosafety cabinet. But before that, we should always remember that an accident won't arrive with a bell on its neck. So we need to be prepared on how to deal with these unnecessary events. First, alert everyone in the area so that everyone is aware of what happened and they can also perform safety measures and avoid the area. Next is doff or remove the PPE. Leave the laboratory area for at least 30 minutes to avoid and let the aerosols settle. Inform the laboratory manager and biosafety officer. Place a sign on the door indicating that there is a spill. Don appropriate PPE and re-enter the area with your spill kit. Always go as pairs. One person will read the procedure and the other one will perform the cleaning. Place absorbent material on the spill. Cover the whole area. Pour appropriate disinfectant concentrically, starting from the outer part. Observe appropriate contact time. Pick up the absorbent material using tongs and place inside a biohazard yellow bag. If there are sharps, pick up using tongs and place in sharps container. Perform another round of cleaning until the whole area has been cleaned and dried. Doff used PPE and put discard bag into another discard bag or the double bagging. Put reusable materials in different container or bag. Decontaminate waste in autoclave. Remove the signage and prepare a report. But in order for us to properly clean the spill kit must always be available. The kit includes disposable laboratory gowns, respirators, gloves, goggles or face shields, shoe cover, tong, biohazard waste bag, brush and pan, disinfectant, and distilled water, sharps container, absorbent material, spill cleanup procedure, and spillage warning. At this point, we will be discussing about the proper waste segregation specifically in clinical laboratory setting. So waste segregation simply is organizing or sorting waste according to its type. The segregation depends on the type of waste. Generally, we have 4 types of waste, namely municipal solid waste, industrial waste, agricultural waste, and hazardous waste. Since we will be talking about the clinical laboratory setting, we will be digging on how do we segregate hazardous waste. Laboratory waste are the waste generated from laboratories in the industry and in educational centers such as secondary schools and universities. Clinical waste is defined as any waste which may cause infection to any person coming into contact with it. So we have these laboratory waste categories which will be the basis on how we will segregate our waste. General waste, pharmaceutical waste, genotoxic, pathological, infectious, chemicals and heavy metals, pressurized containers, radioactive waste, and sharps. In order to segregate the waste, we have different trash bins, which is color-coded depending on the institution. Each type of waste must be thrown separately according to the color assigned and also to the type of container that is appropriate for the kind of waste. And here is a common color coding scheme used in laboratories. Black for non-infectious dry waste, using trash bins or bag. Green for non-infectious wet waste, and the type of container is the same as the black one. Yellow for infectious pathologic waste, and it must be placed in a plastic bag, specifically doubling it to ensure safety. Red puncture-proof containers for sharps, and orange for radioactive waste. So what if waste are mixed up? What should we do? We should always remember that we should not correct the error in disposing anymore. We must not try to pick it up and separate it or by placing one bag inside another bag of a different color. Here is the hierarchy of mixed waste that will guide us how do we treat waste if it is mixed. So as you can see in the pyramid, the radioactive being at the top, then followed by the chemical and the biological waste at the bottom. This is how it goes. When chemical, biological, and radioactive waste are mixed together, it must be treated as radioactive waste. Any of the biological and chemical waste, when mixed with radioactive waste, it will fall already as a radioactive waste. When biological and chemical waste is mixed, it will belong to chemical waste. If general and hazardous waste are accidentally mixed, the mixture should be treated as hazardous healthcare waste. So we have this waste handling procedure, namely the segregation, packaging and labeling, collection, storage, transport, treatment, and disposal. Generally, we have some important points to consider in each steps of the process. We've already discussed the segregation. We have now for packaging. It must be appropriate for the specific waste type, and the seal must be appropriate for the treatment or transport. For labeling, all waste bags or containers should be labeled with basic information in their content and on the waste producer. Collection must be done by a trained utility providing the protective measures to ensure his or her safety in handling infectious wastes. Waste storage must have limited access and located near the treatment site. It must be easy to clean with good lighting and ventilation. For transporting the waste, it must be easy to load and unload. No sharp edges that could damage waste bags or containers during loading and unloading, and easy to clean. Treating hazardous waste can be done through several ways. It could be done through biological process, radiation process, or through encapsulation, which is useful for sharps and pharmaceutical waste. Biological materials could be treated through autoclaving, chemical disinfection, microwave irradiation, or incineration, and finally, the disposal should be done according to the policy on where and how to throw certain wastes. And that's all. But before that, I will leave you this message. We don't live in a trash can, so please stop making it one. Let us be responsible.